Oh, glorious, glorious, sweet media coverage. You get the right media coverage and your business is just going to take off. You can share that important information. You can just get noticed. But how do you get that sweet, sweet media coverage? There's a strategy. There's a strategy for that. Well, there is. And on today's Idea Collective Live, we're going to do our best to teach it to you. This is a place where the small business community gets together once a week. I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Thank you so much for coming to Idea Collective Live, the weekly meeting of your small business network. So today, for the first time ever, we're broadcasting live across many different platforms at once. If you're tuned in on the YouTube page, thank you so much for doing that. That is our home base, by the way, the Idea Collective YouTube page. While you're there, click that subscribe button. That way you won't miss any of our live broadcasts or our shows in the future. And also know right now, it's all about the chat. So get into the chat, say hello. JB, the showrunner, is in the chat right now working it, and we can all kind of talk to one another. We've even got some exciting ways to kind of make this show even more interactive than it was before. The first way to do that is to get it to as many people as possible. Being made possible by Bank 59 and Serendipity Labs, and of course, the Idea Collective collaboration community for small business owners. Well, I mentioned JB, so let's bring in JB, the ultimate connector and my business BFF. No, JB, it's not working for you? Okay, no? Okay, we'll come back to you, JB. How about that? So what we're going to do today is we're going to do some things just a little bit differently. And we might have a little bit of an experiment going on, but we're going to do some networking during the show. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a new feature called the Idea Collective Instant Networking. Later on in the show, we're going to throw out a call-in number where you get a chance to come on screen and tell us your story, what you're doing, and maybe who you're looking to connect with. It's going to be a way that we can get to know you. And then after all of that, we're going to jump off into a new feature for the Idea Collective Live. We're going to do an after party on Zoom. So we're going to host the show, and then we're going to go network with one another on a Zoom channel. So some new stuff is happening today, and we're really going to have some fun with it because you know what? That's what it's all about. Getting to know each other, trying to learn some stuff, and having some fun. So thank you to everyone that's jumping into the chat and saying hello. And if you have any questions along the way, let's feel free to ask them. So how about we get down to the show? Let's get down to building a media strategy. First of all, what is a media strategy? And is it worth it to build one? How do you do it? And what happens when it works? Well, let's find out. Let's welcome in our guest today, Michele Tonkovitz, the CEO of Green Onion Creative and the president of the American Marketing Association of Milwaukee. So, Michele, we can hear you. I'm not sure if we can see you just yet, but welcome to the show today. How was Monday so far?
It is a Monday. Holy cow. Woke up this morning and hit the ground running just like everybody else, I'm sure. We're making that mad dash to Friday and hopefully into the holiday time where we can all just get a chance to breathe a little easier. So
that does sound good. So do you have any plan in the future of something you're looking forward to? Like it's time to shut down for the holiday. Do you have anything you like to do?
Yeah. Well, I have a black lab and he just loves to walk. So I'm really looking forward to going through, I live in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. And so I live right outside the Washington Highlands. So I'm really looking forward to just taking some time to bundle up and go with the dog and go look at the holiday lights and really try to embrace the spirit of the season, what we have of it.
For sure, for sure. So let's talk about getting a media plan and strategy together. I get a feeling that that's more than just sending a press release, right?
Yes, absolutely. And so when people think of public relations and media relations, they instantly think of just doing the traditional press release. But there's way more to it that most people don't realize. And I'm hoping today I can just kind of open your eyes to some other avenues that you guys can pursue.
All right, well, let's start with defining it. How do you define media relations? Can you just talk about that in general and start there?
Absolutely. So at Green Onion Creative, we see media relations in the fact that you're building relationships with the media, right? It's just like you're building any relationship with your neighbor, your coworker, your boss. It takes time. You have to introduce yourself. People are busy. And so with our media relations strategy, we're really looking at each of our clients and what their industries are, who their purchasers are, whether it's in business to business or business to consumer. And then from there, we're getting an opportunity to really look at which media outlets and coverage opportunities exist and pursuing those.
Okay, that makes sense. So why is this important, especially for small businesses? Because we talk a lot about maybe Facebook ads or Google AdWords, but we don't hear a lot about building a media relations strategy.
Right. And so media relations strategies, it definitely takes some time, but they're worth it in ways outside of Google ads and Facebook ads, because we want to help you as a business owner really position yourself as a thought leader and an industry expert. And so when there's news coverages, like, stories that are happening and unfolding, every day, it's kind of like, who can the reporters turn to as a third party, knowledgeable source? And that's where we want to try to help you get your name out there and elevate your authority level amongst your competitors.
And isn't that great when you get that authority level increase? Because then essentially, if you start building relationships with the right folks, the media will start coming to you. Is that the behavior that you're looking for?
Absolutely. That's exactly it. We want you to be a trusted resource among your colleagues and your customers, and social media plays a big part in developing that media strategy, because just like we're all voyeuristic and we're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, being nosy and seeing what people are doing, reporters are doing the same thing too. They're just doing their background research. And so if they're looking at your social media profiles and they're seeing you have good engagement, you are commenting back to the people who are connecting with you, if you have a lot of followers, if you have a lot of likes, you have a lot of shares, but really valuable ones, not those that you can just purchase and that they're willy-nilly. I mean, truly having good engagement, the reporters see that and they realize then, okay, your authority level amongst the consumer audience or your customer audience is growing as well.
Well, let's get down to business then. So we understand what it is. We now know why it's important. I don't have one. How do I get one? So how do we start building a media relations strategy?
Right. So if you do have a marketing department, great. They might already know these levers to pull. And if you don't have a marketing department, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to do this. And it really just starts by taking a look at what industry you're in and what are, number one, the different trade publications and associations out there. They're very much underlooked as opportunities to connect with the editors, connect with the reporters. LinkedIn is going to be your new best friend, because that's how you're going to find them and you're going to make those connections with them. But when you make those connections, you should also be prepared to talk to them right away, because sometimes they're really interested in who you are, what do you have going on, what's your newsworthy moment. And so if you have developed press releases in the past, great, you can pass those along. They usually want them. If you haven't done a press release in the past, you can create one that's more of just a company overview, general thing. And we really recommend having, as a ride along with that press release, a one-sheet company overview to explain who you are and what you're doing. Really brief, quick hits of information that separates you from the competition, bullet points. I mean, sure, people can go to your website, but you're controlling the narrative there. That's why they're also looking at your social media channels, because you can't control the narrative of what your followers and commenters are saying.
Now, see, I know enough to be dangerous right now, so let's dig in for a second, because I was on the other side of the media for 22 years, and I was getting the press releases and the outreach from people. And I will tell you one thing, I love my media colleagues, but the easier you can make it for them, the better it's going to be. So let's talk about that company one sheet and how important it is to be an easy story to cover.
I love the company one sheets. We're in the process of creating one right now for a new client that's in the manufacturing industry that we just brought on board. And an approach that we find to be very successful, and I get so excited and giddy about talking about it, is through the use of infographics. And really just creating a nice, clean look. Many times it's with your company's logo right in the center of the piece, right? Because that's the center of who you are. And then branching off about 4 to 6 different key points of differentiation, or things that really elevate you and you succeed so well in, and making that a quick hit of information, a great headline, nice little intro paragraph, contact information at the bottom. Not only can that piece be used to share with the media, but you can share it with customers. You can share it with prospective customers. You should also have it live on your website. And with that, remember guys, when you have your PDF, you should optimize it for search. And you can do that by simply going into the documents, drop down properties, and type in all the great keywords so that not only can the media find you when they're looking for experts to talk about whatever topic, it's where customers and prospects can find you too.
So let's talk about the return on investment. I mean, this is going to take a little bit to put together. And I think most marketers, or at least small business owners, do the traditional channels. But if we don't have this up and running, can it really pay off?
Well, the return on investment is always the big question. What's my ROI? And with media relations, it comes in a variety of ways, not necessarily the dollar amount, but eventually you want that to be able to track that news article, that feature in the publication, being the guest on the talk show, right? And see that turn into conversions. And then those conversions become loyal customers. And then you have the whole, big long buy cycle and everything behind that. And so, it's a time investment too. And so I think, when you're thinking of dollars, think of, who you have as resources available to you. Do you have to outsource anything? But really, it's something that you can do, any business owner can do. It just takes a little bit of time.
So let's say that, Idea Collective Live was like some big deal show you wanted to get on. Let's just pretend for a second. So like, what would you have sent me to get the medias, if we're pretending that I'm the media? You've got the one sheet, you've got the press release. Like, what other best practices would you encourage to try and get our attention? Because if you email me the stuff, that's not necessarily going to work. What else would you do to try and get attention?
I love this. So this is our scenario, right? I am Michelle from Green Onion, and I want to get on the Idea Collective. So I do a little research, and I find out Pat Miller is my guy. So Pat, what am I going to do? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look you up on LinkedIn. I'm going to see your background. I'm going to see who you're connected to. What mutual connections do we have? Boom, I got your information right there. I'm going to send you a message to connect, but don't just send that blanket message. You've got 300 characters to play with. If I'm going to craft a custom message to you that says, Pat, very excited about the Idea Collective. Congratulations on, all the work that you're doing. I think that I have a great group of potential guests to join, and even myself to come on and speak to you. If you're interested, please let's connect. And then once you say, oh, that's great, we connect. And then so I get a message back that says, oh, Pat connected with you. And then I reach out again and I say, Pat, I'm so glad that we were able to connect. Want to give you a little bit more background about me or maybe this client. Here's the press release and the company overview for them. I think that they can fit into your programming. Just take a look and see, and then let's get in touch and see if we can line up an interview. And it goes from there. But again, it's a nurturing process. It's not one hit and wonder, and then all of a sudden I'm on the show.
Yeah, exactly. No matter how good it is, you're probably not going to get anything the first time. So being consistent and working it over and over again. One other thing that we used to do on the radio side is when we'd send our press releases, we would name the press release the headline. Instead of Idea Collective is now live, we would say Idea Collective lands giant guest Michelle from AMA, right? We would have that be the headline. And then the other thing we would do is we take that first paragraph that says everything about what we're doing and put that in the body of the email. So that way people didn't have to click to open to see what the heck is this thing about, because the news directors are going so fast. We found that those were really helpful. So outside of the LinkedIn outreach, maybe some of those tricks, any more hacks as far as getting the attention of the people that matter?
I love the fact that you say hack, because talk about hack jobs. So if you ever hear me on some other podcast going hack job, that's where my little giggle comes in. But no, you're 100% on, Pat. Those tips and tricks like you just mentioned for emails are great. Other things you guys can do too, and I know it sounds corny and old school, and who answers the phone anyways, but call, do a quick outreach. Yes, people are going to see your number, go, I don't know who that is, and send you to voicemail. But you know what people do? They listen to their voicemail. Mm-hmm. And so another little quick hack you can do is do that follow-up call that we all used to live by, right? And say, hey, Pat, I know you're super busy running the Idea Collective. Don't know if you got a chance to see my LinkedIn message, but I'm going to email you as well a quick press release and background information on this client I have who I think is going to be a great guest. Be sure to keep an eye out, right? And more than likely, you're going to listen to that voicemail too.
Yeah, I always found it helpful too to think about who their audience is. So if you're talking to TMJ4, the TV station, they air the Packers games on Sunday Night Football. So if I had something about the Packers, I would say, hey, I know you're probably looking for programming for your Packers fans because of the thing. Here's an idea. Like I always try and think, if I was them answering the phone, what am I looking for? And that always seemed effective for me.
And that goes back to also social media as well, with regards to if you have, let's say I have a client and I'm really excited because they're coming out with this brand new What's Its technology for 2021, right? If I can't get in front of those right media outlets that I want, I could still put a social post out there and tag them and say, look for, whoever the reporter is, just say, like, I don't want to say like, look for us to be on TMJ4 until we've actually landed a spot, but like great news tip for TMJ4, Fox 6, whomever, because they're watching their social media pages too, and they want to be part of the conversation and know who's talking about them. So those are other little ways that you can kind of sneak in. But again, don't misrepresent yourself or your clients or your business by saying that you're going to be somewhere where you don't have that commitment yet.
For sure on that. And do not misrepresent yourself. If you're the person that can deliver a piece of content and they actually call you and you don't, you'll never get called again. Now, I have a couple more questions for Michele. If you have any, drop into the chat and we'll bring you on the show. But in a few moments, just looking ahead for a second, we're going to do something new. We're going to do Idea Collective Instant Networking. We're going to have a couple of people come on the show and talk about what they do, how they can help and what they need help with. And it's going to be kind of rapid fire and fun. So if you're new to the Idea Collective Live, this is a chance for you to meet some people. And if you're watching, maybe you'll get a chance to meet some people as well. All right. So Michele, can you share a success story with us? Someone that you've worked with that built a media plan and ended up doing well with it?
So Ampco Pumps Company right here in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, actually, they are a client of ours. And their new marketing manager, Mike Howman, he's been on staff there for about a year now. He has been really working over the last 12 months to develop some good media relationships, and specifically with Pumps and Systems magazine. So in October, Pumps and Systems said to Mike, hey, we'd love to have an article written by Ampco, but not promotional, which happens so often in trade publications where they want you to come as a thought leader, not trying to sell a product. And so we helped Ampco really craft a really strong article about positive displacement pumps. That, again, appeared in the October issue of Pumps and Systems magazine. Well, through that great networking and relationship building and having a strong piece of content, Pumps and Systems actually took that article from their magazine and featured it on the homepage, right? You're competing with a lot of other pump manufacturers for that golden spot right on the magazine's homepage. And again, I really truly believe that by developing a good relationship and talking with them and giving them what they're looking for with regards to content, it will help you just get those opportunities that maybe your competitors aren't getting.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a great question from one of our Facebook users. Is media relations more important for product-based companies as opposed to service-based companies, or is it important for everyone?
I think it's important to everyone. Again, we work with business to business and business to customer relationships. So, I mean, for sure with products, because you'll have a new one that's coming out or an enhancement here. But services are really important as well, especially when we live in this time of technology and really trying to develop more human relationships, especially if you're a nonprofit organization. I think that you should really try to work with the media and get your nonprofit organization noticed more and get the coverage that you need.
Let me share something else that's like a little just hack, if you will. And this is going to sound so stupid, but Michele, you've been running your agency for a long time, and I know this is true. Food works. Food works. I'm telling you, someone brings you like Greeby's Donuts on Punchki Day, or someone brings you pizza on Football Sunday, or brings your team lunch just because. I know that sounds silly, but you've done that before, right? You've done the media deliveries, haven't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So funny. I was just on another podcast last week, and following me as the guest for that appearance, I had booked my client MKE Charcuterie, one of the new players in the whole charcuterie business here in Wauwatosa. And it was so funny because the guys from the Bait and Switch podcast, they were like, hey, wait a minute, like Steve Palick brought us bourbon, and when he was on the show, like, why aren't you bringing us cheese? I'm like, I brought you the cheese girls. But yes, and so, but I've done it before, with a name like Green Onion Creative. I always like to put together little treat baskets of like green suckers, green candies, right? That vibrant green, like my logo, and people like to snack. And who doesn't like food?
Yeah, Eric Clark in the chat makes a great point. DoorDash gift certificates for the newsroom. The newsroom, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. That would be really slick right now. Okay, so we've got like 2 more questions for Michele before we move on. Then we're going to get into some instant networking with the Idea Collective. So now is the time to log in to the show, and we're going to put that up here on the screen. You need to use this link. Go to a web browser and put that link into the web browser. And then your browser is going to say, hey, can I use your camera and your microphone? You go, sure. And then you're going to show up on my little secret screen here, and we'll bring you on the show. I'll walk you through what you need to do. But basically, if you want some free publicity, #media plan, click the link, come on into the show, and we'll get to you in just a minute. So, Michele, you're not only the boss and CEO of Green Onion, you're also the president of AMA Milwaukee. Tell us about the group.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm really super excited. I'm going to be in 2021 starting my presidency for AMA Milwaukee. And I really think that we have such a great organization here, and we're going to try really hard in the new year to continue to build awareness, bring lots of value to the marketing community. And again, for small business owners, even if you don't have a marketing department, you could really benefit from the events that we're putting on and the networking opportunities and the thought leader sharing.
So how many events are you having each month? Tell us about the rhythm of the group. And if we join, like, what do we get if we join?
Well, pre-COVID, we were on a great path of having a monthly meeting. Obviously, COVID has changed things. And so now we're doing our Zoom, our virtual meetings. And this is a really cool platform that I'm going to have to tell them to look into as well. But so now we're getting ready to plan for 2021. And we're going to be doing a few scaled back meetings and get-togethers, really focusing more on value that we're going to bring, right? We're looking at more workshops where you're going to have hands-on experiences and be able to take away, actionable items. We're working on creating our own survey industry so we can really see what is happening in the marketing community right here in Milwaukee and give you expertise and guidance on how to navigate these crazy waters as we swim forward.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's a great group too, with a very diverse thought leadership, right? It's not just you. Can you talk about some of the other executives and leaders inside the group?
Yeah, so I love the fact that we have such a vast, diverse background. So in addition to myself, President, which will be past president, Pat McGovern. He works for Acedia. He's had a long, strong background prior to that working with BBK. So where he is now at Acedia, they really are thoughtful in digital opportunities like website audits and Google display ads. With Pat, we also have Jean Zotner, who is at UWM School of Continuing Education, and she's really working with the university to help bring forth programs for the marketers, right? Us returning adult students who want to get these certificates, who want to learn more about pulling the different levers. We have Dana from so she's great from the event side, but she's also our VP of membership. So if anybody's interested in joining AMA, go to amamilwaukee.org, connect with Dana. She's wonderful. Seth, our VP of Operations, he is always looking for volunteers to help, with creating Eventbrites and emails, and again, we're having lots more events coming up. And then there's also Brian Lamont, who runs the Moon Landing Agency, and he is just such an idea person, and he's super savvy in media relations and public relations as well. So we've got a great board. And I can't forget Tori. Tori is our CMO. Our CFO, and she's the lady who pays the bills and makes sure that we're heading down the right path.
It sounds like a terrific organization. Is membership open all the time? Are you doing a drive soon? Like, tell us about how we join.
So you can join at any time. And actually, with COVID being in place, the AMA has significantly reduced their rates from over $300 to $149. But in January, we're also going to be doing a push and a membership drive. So if you're interested in joining the AMA, you can absolutely do it right now. But also get on our mailing list, go to amamilwaukee.org, and look for some of our event promotions coming out, as well as our membership drive promotions.
It sounds great. Thank you so much for all of the information today about building a media plan and getting our thoughts to some of those old school relationships that we need that will really pay off if we earn them, and the information on the AMA. So, Michele, thank you so much for coming on today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and everybody have a happy holiday.
We will. Michele Tonkovitz, Green Onion Creative, and the incoming president of the American Marketing Association of Milwaukee. Thank you so much for coming on the show. All right, so we are going to move on now on Idea Collective Live. We're going to do some fun stuff. Now, this is either going to be the most incredible, amazing call your mama and talk about how much fun this was, or it's going to flame out spectacularly. I'm not sure which. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a couple of rounds of Idea Collective Instant Networking. This is where, just like when you join the group, we want to hear what you're about, what you might need help with, and what help you can provide to the group. It's going to be very short. It's going to be fast, but it's not going to be very hard. So if you want to get on the air, call in. But then after we do that, you'll see the link on the screen here. We're going to try something else new. We're going to go networking afterwards, because this Restream tool is amazing. We can get out all over my different platforms and reach a ton of people, but we can't really have that connectivity and that networking that we used to get on Zoom. So we're going to do both. We'll have the show, and then we'll go to the after party and we'll say hello to each other. So grab that link right there. We'll have JB put it in the chat as well, who's working overtime today. So thank you, JB, for that. So let's bring in our first guest. That's what I meant to say. First guest, Mary Irish. Good old Mary Irish. Hi, Mary.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Pat.
All right.
And
so
everybody.
You get to be our guinea pig on Idea Collective Instant Networking. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Mary Irish, and I'm from Our Redeemer Lutheran Church and School in Wauwatosa, where we like to say we're in the community and for the community. And I guess if I was going to share what we do, clearly we're a church and a school, so we have not just excellent Christian education and worship opportunities and all kinds of service opportunities for discipleship, but we also want to come alongside of you and do well, do good, and invite you in to do the same. So our networking procedure is really looking for people who are interested in what we do and how we can help them.
So tell us about something you can do to help out other small business owners. Like, what do you have to offer others that are in the Idea Collective and that are watching the show?
Certainly one thing that I would offer up, and I'd find it to be time well spent for any of you, our pastor, Pastor Andrew Steinke, is always happy to have a coffee chat either in person or Zoom, like we would normally be kind of used to in COVID, to discuss anything that you would like to, whether it's business, whether it's organization, or whether it's a faith issue or some counseling you would like. And of course, all of that is free of charge and private.
And you happen to know almost everyone in town. So it's good to know Mary Irish. There's no doubt about that. How about something the community can do for you? What can we do to help you?
I think at this time, if you see something on our platforms that you find interesting, feel free to share it. Or if you see a great resource, we are going to be working on some things that we're going to be shooting out for people to invest with us. We're looking for words of the week that we could use to attach to scripture, and possibly using even some of you as experts who would come in to do a short testimonial on how business and faith can interact. So reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.
Now that's really interesting. So how do we do that? Can we drop your email into the chat, or do you want a phone call? Like if someone, because there are some spiritual folks that we know that would have a very interesting point of view, and they're small business owners. So do you want a
Right.
call? Do you want an email? What do you need?
I will put both my email and then LinkedIn. You can find me there quite easily as well.
Okay, sounds great. See, look, I knew Mary Irish would be the goods. I knew you'd be the goods. You're
I know.
always
We'll
good.
see if we're flaming out, Pat. Maybe
No,
that's
we're
not a
not.
bad
No.
start. We'll find out.
So far, no flaming out. Mary Irish, our Redeemer, thank you so much for coming on. How about meeting Rachel Bush? Rachel Bush, MOVA Business Solutions. Hi, Rachel. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Pat? Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet
Again.
you. Yeah, right. So tell us about MOVA
Great.
Business Solutions. What do you do?
Sure. I provide virtual administrative services for business owners and entrepreneurs like myself. Also provide project management support as well. So being able to come in and assist businesses aligning different needs and specifically different tools to be efficient. That's my gig, and I enjoy it very much.
I love that. That's great. Tell us about what you're looking for. How can we help you? What do you need?
I would say for sure, just making me do things like this. I appreciate getting on here. I was glad to see. Michelle on here. She's a client of mine, so I've been working with her and her team. I didn't even put two and two together until it popped up in my Facebook feed. So just taking a minute out of my work day to see this and support other entrepreneurs and learn, I appreciate.
That's great. Okay, so is there anything that you have to offer for us, like a way that we learn how to work with you, or maybe a free download, or anything that you use to get clients that you want us to know about?
Well, I keep it old fashioned. I say book a call and connect with me. You can find that as well on my website, movasolutions.org. I also have an Instagram and Facebook page and Twitter account. And my favorite platform right now is LinkedIn. So you can look me up personally, Rachel Bush, as well as my business page, MOVA Business Solutions. So I've enjoyed connecting that way. I enjoy hearing what other business owners have in administrative pain points. And from there, I'll be able to see how I can help them. And then we can always stay connected, even if the business doesn't happen.
So, how long do you have? Because I got pain points to share. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Make sure you drop your LinkedIn link inside the chat of the show. Okay. It's really great to have you, Rachel Bush. Thank you for coming on. See, look, now this is fun. We're getting to meet some people. Now, the aspiring person that's watching the show is going to be like, oh, I got to look that person up on LinkedIn. Oh, I got to look that person up on LinkedIn. And you're kind of getting the vibe here that you can like get out in front of some people, make some new connections, maybe drive some business. How about our good friend Michelle from Tech Labs? Michelle from Tech Labs. Hey, how are you? Tell us about what you do.
It's great to see you, Pat. I work for Tech Lab. We provide IT services for businesses in the southeastern Wisconsin. We're based out of Wauwatosa. So when I say IT services, what I mean is that if you have a computer that needs fixed or you want to get a new computer, we help with that. If you have an internet issue, there's a part of your house where you're not getting internet, or it's just working really slow, we can help you with that. Or you want to be secure when you're connecting to the internet.
Now, you're in Wauwatosa. I'm in Wauwatosa. Maybe you saw the bonfire that I had with my computer earlier today because Zoom decided to attack my computer. It was not good. It was not pretty. I needed your team, and I ended up figuring it out, but it was bad news. All right. So who are you looking to connect with? How can we help you as a community?
I'm looking to connect with people who have, IT issues, and they're looking for someone that they can work with on a regular, just to maybe on a one-time basis or on a regular basis, depending on what you're looking for, to help with IT issues.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, Michelle, thanks so much for coming on and for being brave and logging into the show. I'm impressed. Well done. And tell the team at Tech Lab I said hello. We can't do something like this and not meet the man with the whiteboard, our good friend, Michael Rampolla. Hello, Mr. Rampolla. How are you?
I'm well, Mr. Miller. How are you today?
I'm good. So we're playing with some new tech today. Are your new tech muscles?
You know what? Yeah, my spidey senses were tingling. I said, ooh, a link to click and a platform to test. And like you said, something to break. So yeah, I'm excited. It's this is a very cool way to spread your message to a much broader audience on a bunch of channels at once. I like it.
Well, and I hope the end result is that we're connecting people, and people need to know you. If you don't know Michael Rampolla, you have a
Wow.
problem, because he's the brains of the operation. So tell us about Spirity and what Spirity does.
Sure. So Spirity helps business owners grow their businesses, and we help HR leaders grow and scale their talent. We do that by helping you identify and overcome the obstacles that are holding you back from reaching a greater success.
And what are you doing as far as helping people right now? If you can help someone's interested in learning more, what are you doing to make new friends?
Right now, one of the big things we're doing is helping everybody work on their plan for next year. Most larger organizations do annual planning, and they do it once the year gets started. We take an agile planning approach, which means we're doing plans every quarter, and we do them in advance. So we're evaluating what happened, learning from that, and using that as a way to get us started on the right foot come next quarter. So we just had our big event last Friday, and all of our members and friends and guests walked away with at least their number one priority goal for Q1 2021. And that puts them and everybody else in a much better position to win.
Yeah, that's the BIQ, right? That's the BIQ.
You got it. Actually,
great meeting.
Announcement. That was the last. That was the last ever BIQ.
What?
We rebranded.
Oh, Idea Collective Q.
Good. No, sorry. Somebody else got the sponsorship. It's actually going to be called Apex. APEX. Agile Planning Experience. Because really, what we realized, we were doing some research about our SPEAR methodology. We realized what we're doing actually has a name. It's called Agile Planning. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be our Agile Planning Experience. So the first ever Apex will be in March of 2021.
Man, that's the coolest. All right, so we have a few more people on hold here, and then we're going to get to the after party. Michael Rampolla, it's always great to see you from Spirity. So here's what we should do. If you are watching the show right now, get into the chat and post your LinkedIn address. That way we can all make sure that we're all connected with one another. And we have a few more people on hold that we're going to say hello to. And then we're going to get over to the after party on Zoom and do some small group networking and blow off a little bit of steam, which I can see coming out of JB's ears because she's been pushing all the buttons behind the scenes. I'm very impressed, JB. Let's meet one of our newer friends to the Idea Collective, Nicole Bandis. Nicole, it's great to see you. How are you today? I think we got your audio is not on, Michelle. Or Nicole, excuse me. I'll come back to you. How about that? I don't think your audio is working right there. How about we go to Lynn Karazi, the data magician.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Karazi, how are you, sir?
Good. Coming to you live from Canal Fulton, Ohio today.
Oh, you're on the road. You're taking the show on the road. Are you finally doing stadiums or what?
Yeah, big ones.
Yeah.
It's the biggest room in the retirement community my parents are in right now.
Oh, that's great. All right, so let's talk about what you do and Data to Profit. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, as many of you know me, I am the data magician. So what I do is try to work with small to medium-sized companies, take all that messy information they have laying around, work my magic with it, and really try to show them things about their business that they didn't know before that's going to help them make more money.
Very cool. Very cool. And what are you looking for right now? How can the community help you?
What I'm looking for, if you know people that are out there who you hear in informal conversations, I don't understand my P&L, or I don't understand what's going on with my business because I've outsourced all my accounting, they're not close to their numbers. Those are the people that I would love to chat with.
Okay, sounds good. Lynn Karazi, data magician, Data to Profit. Thank you so much, my friend. All right, so we're really on overdrive here because I want to make sure that we get everybody in before we go to the after party. Dr. Rachel, hello, my dear.
Hello.
Great
Very excited to be here. This is my first meeting, and I'm already streaming live. What is the deal?
Well, you're kind of a star. When you did call in, we put you on the air. Come on, what are you doing? So, not everybody knows who you are. So, tell us about where you're at. First of all, where are you calling in?
So my name is Dr. Rachel Haug, recently married though, so trying to embrace the new identity. DuPaul is the new last name, but I go by Dr. Rachel, so don't worry about the last name. I'm actually living in Minnesota, but I have an all-online counseling business that I can see residents of Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Arizona at this point. And I am new to business as of August of this year, but I am thrilled about being here and connecting with people so that, one, I can learn more about business and eventually develop a side hustle, but also just meet some more folks as far as potential clients.
All right, that sounds great. So we'll try and introduce some people to you. And you're a newly minted member inside the Idea Collective. So why did you decide to join?
I mean, the holiday party was what was the nail in the coffin. So let's just be honest about it. No, I am. I mean, it is the holiday party because that was just fantastic. I felt the energy of everybody. Everybody felt very supportive, encouraging, and challenging in ways that I think we need to be challenged. And, you know, as an entrepreneur, I'm very, very new to this. I'm already recognizing that when I'm with me, myself, and I all of the time, I can get stuck in my own ruts, and I need some of that, brainstorming and other ideas to bounce off. Also, just mentorship and guidance. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited to just learn and jump with both feet.
Well, we get to put a pin in Minnesota now because you're in Minnesota. So our plan for world domination is off and running. Welcome to the group, Dr. Rachel. Thank you for coming on today. We appreciate it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back to Nicole and see if her audio is working. If not, we'll have to bail on her. Nicole, do we have audio yet? No, we don't have audio. You know what? How about this? I'll be the ventriloquist. You move your mouth and I'll say what you say. Hi, I'm Nicole, and I'm the best. I do VA stuff, and you should call me. Okay, great. Thanks. All right, Dr. Nicole, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Okay, so here's the deal. This has been like a lot of fun, and I'm so impressed. Let's see. JB, I'm going to try and bring you on. Can I try and bring you on? Is your audio working now? No.
Maybe?
Yes, it is. Okay. How are you doing? Because like when the show, like, you know, in the cartoons, when you see someone have a mushroom cloud come out from the top of their head, that's what happened to Jennifer as soon as we went live, because it was like lots of new tech all at once right in your face.
It has been so fun to see all of this craziness happening on screen at once, and to see the behind the scenes is pretty cool. I think those who landed back there, they're like, whoa, this is pretty hot. But definitely, I could have used like 5 more minutes prep.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got a week now to figure it out. But hey,
we just did 40 minutes. We ran a show, man. And next week with Dr. Raymond is going to be really good.
Yeah. So let's have a for real talk about next week. So next week, now that the virus, or the vaccine rather, has been approved for distribution, next week we have Dr. John Raymond, CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, coming on this show to tell us what's going on with vaccine distribution, who's going to get it when can we expect to get it, what about our customers coming back to our stores. I mean, this guy is absolutely brilliant, and he's going to be fantastic. So next Monday, 3:00, don't miss it. All right, here's the deal. If you're watching the show right now, drop into the chat, put your LinkedIn in, and let's make a few announcements, because we are streaming all across the internet. Now, if you run a business organization or you run a company and you think that this show might be a good fit for your customers, well, we're looking for some broadcast partners. We would love to add your social media account or your YouTube page to our dynasty of broadcasting here, because it's our way to get a message that's very helpful, like this one, at least we like to think, out to as many small business owners as possible. So let us know, and we would love to include you in what we're doing. A big thank you to the planning team for the small business holiday party on Friday night. Is this what the kids do nowadays? I don't think it is. That's okay. It's all I remember. The team absolutely killed it. It was amazing. On a Friday night from 4:30 till late, we had like 75 small business owners at the end of a long week all show up in costume with cocktails and games, and it was amazing. So thank you so very much. It was fantastic. So thanks for working so hard. Also, a big thanks to Liz Watson of the Impact Trail, the leader on the Impact Trail. We did our first day of Small Business Planning Week today, and she did awesome. We're going to have 4 more days of small business planning, Tuesday through Friday at noon each day. And if you want that information, the link just went out into the chat, but we should connect about that, because this is 100% free small business planning from someone who knows. Liz Watson, a strategic planner by trade. Noon tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. All right, let's get into the after party. So here's how this is going to work. Jennifer has been working so hard behind the scenes. She's now going to set up for her next trick. She's going to set up a Zoom meeting, and that Zoom meeting is linked to the link on the screen. So if you want to chat, blow off some steam, connect with some folks, say hello, and network, jump over to that link on the screen. It will send you to a Zoom room, and we'll get things underway. The vision of this is we're broadcasting live on Twitch and Twitter and LinkedIn and all over the place. There might be people there that aren't in the Idea Collective. Great. We want to meet you and we want to help you and we want you to help us. And we just want to get to know more people and improve our network. So click that link, meet us there in about 5 minutes, and we will start the small business after party. I almost said Small Business Rally Point, Idea Collective Live after party. A big thank you to Michele Tonkovitz, the CEO of Green Onion Creative and the president of the American Marketing Association. And as soon as we log off, I'm going to buy JB a drink because she deserves it. She made all the tech work. So bravo. And thank you to everybody else that called in today. The Idea Collective YouTube channel is where many of you are watching this. Make sure you hit subscribe before you close the window. I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you on Zoom in just a moment.